Hi guys, Jason the Phone Boy here. So, in my last video, I discussed, what kind of preppers are out there, and, I asked you, challenged you to think about what kind of prepper you are and why you want to be that kind of prepper. In this video is going to kind of throw a few questions out there about what type of disasters are people preparing for? What type of disasters are you preparing for? There's a couple of different disasters out there that people put their thought into. One of the most popular, but the most unrealistic, is the zombies. Everybody loves zombies. Now, there's a psychological thing that goes on there about why people like zombies. It basically has to do with the fact that everybody wants to kill another human being. Just human nature. So zombies are a great way to be able to go around and, get rid of some of your angers and kill another human being because it's justifiable. It's a little weird, if you ask me. But that's one of the things I read on it, was that's why people like zombies so much. But a zombie apocalypse is one of the favorites among shit hits the fan. It's also the most unlikely. Yeah, there are diseases out there that do different things to the brain, and there are parasites out there that can and do, in fact, zombify their host. But humans aren't susceptible to most of these diseases or parasites. And if they were, I don't think we would ever have an apocalypse like you see in a lot of your zombie games where 90% of the population has been destroyed and a mere 10% survive. I don't think we'll ever see that. But just to nip that one in the bud, I don't think that one will ever happen. Another favorite is a nuclear attack. Well, while that one is more possible to happen because all these countries around the world have nuclear bombs, the reality of the situation is, since most of the world has nuclear capabilities, it would be a fool's errand for anyone to drop a nuclear bomb. Because if for some reason we ever became, if for some reason we ever got to the point of a nuclear war, we would destroy this Earth. And I think that enough minds in the world understand that. Now, there's going to be some crazy people out there that want to destroy the world or take over the world and all that. But I don't think that any government in the world would be stupid enough to start a nuclear war, because everybody would die. The fallout from radiation would just kill, the majority of the world, of the Earth. It just wouldn't make any sense. And why would anybody do it? It would be awakening a sleeping giant by dropping a nuclear bomb and getting the whole world involved. Secondly, if one country was to drop a nuclear bomb, I would hesitate to say that the rest of the world would just jump in and start dropping nuclear bombs. What would probably happen is that other world governments would go in on foot and take them out, using less destructive means. You say, well, I don't know about that. Well, yeah, I do. This world knows what a nuclear bomb can do, and we would all be fools to start a nuclear war. So with that said, the next would be a cyber attack. This one is probably the only kind of attack that I really and truly see becoming an issue. Because a country could come in and they could shut down all of the communications and electronics and networking of another country, therefore rendering a country greater than themselves basically harmless. Think about it. If somebody was to shut down our entire defensive systems, we would be stuck. And then they wouldn't have to attack us with nuclear bombs. But that also kind of goes in that context of how far would they really get? If they came in here and tried to pose a threat to America in a big force like that, the entire country would band together and attack back. I still believe America is a great country and that we are unified, more so than people think. And when another country decides they want to come in and take America out, it's not going to work that way. It might, but I don't think it will. And I think all of the Americans will have to be dead before any country will ever have to pull something like that off. But I could be wrong. Now, I'm not saying that a cyber attack won't happen. I'm saying that a cyber attack might happen basically as a threat, but a strike against America on American soil would be a suicide for any other country to pull off. So, yeah, it's just food for thought on that one. Economic collapse. This is probably the biggest one and the most plausible of a countrywide shit hits the fan situation. If our economy fails, there are safeguards as far as community-wise that would slow down the process. The economy collapses. Everybody who's working goes home and they start farming, they start trading, they start bartering, they start hoarding, and before you know it, we'll be on a barter system, and then we'll be on a gold standard again, and then we'll have money. It's not like if the economy collapses that the whole world is just going to end. We'll start building up together and banding together. Now, a lot of people fear the one world government or the one world order. I believe that sometime in the future this will happen. How near in the future, I have no idea, and no one does. But right now, I think that the masses are still afraid of a one world government, to the point that if we ever had economic collapse, that a one world order or one world government would not be able to just assume power. There's too many people out there afraid of that power. We would first have to, or the one world governments that want to do this, or the people who want to do a one world government, would have to soften the people up to the idea. Right now, too many people think it's scary. You start walking around telling people, oh yeah, we're going to do a one world order, everybody is on edge. They can't do it by force. That's the one thing that must be understood. You cannot create a government like that by force without destroying the people in it. There would have to be a mass killing before they could pull that off. So as of now, I believe if we have an economic collapse, that we'll basically join together and start over with a bunch of bartering systems and the like. Now, the other shit hits the fan, or preparedness situations that people tend to miss on these kind of things, because it's more or less assumed, are natural disasters. And that's probably the most serious one that you need to worry about. Hurricanes, tornadoes, earthquakes, volcanoes, things that will happen. And how are you prepared? I live in the state of Florida, so I prepare for a hurricane. I have, when hurricane season comes along, I get food and stuff readied and supplied. I'm not as supplied as I should be, I'll be honest, but that's what my background for preparedness is. Preparing for a hurricane, weeks without power. Katrina came through and people weren't prepared for Katrina, which is stupid because you knew it was coming. You know, so when you know things are coming in advance, you can prepare a lot better. But that's just some food for thought. You know, I challenge you to sit back and look at what it is you're preparing for. Are you hoarding gold because of you think of an economic crisis is going to happen? Do you think that gold is going to be able to buy you, satisfaction and protection and food and water in an economic collapse? Think about it. What's gold worth? You can't eat gold. Now, when the gold standard rises from the grave after a barter system has started again, gold will be worth something. But right now, it's worthless. I mean, not right now, but if something were to happen, it'd be worthless. Are you going out and buying all kinds of, gear like NBC equipment because you think a nuclear fallout's going to happen? Is that a prudent waste of is that a prudent use, not a waste, but a use of your money? Buying EMP shields for your laptop computers. Is that a good use of your money? Just think about what the most important things are. What you're preparing for, why you're preparing for it. And I just I just think people ought to step back and think about what it is you're preparing for. And that's probably the second most important step of becoming a prepper. You need to know why you're doing what you're doing. Because otherwise you're going to go out and go, I need to prepare for a nuclear attack. And then you hear another situation that somebody pops up and says, oh, it's going to be a cyber attack. I need to prepare for a cyber attack. Then somebody says, oh, no, it's going to be economic. I need to prepare for economic collapse. And the next thing you know, a hurricane comes through and you're going, well, none of this stuff's helping me out any. So it's just a thought. What are you preparing for? Why are you preparing for that? Now, I'm not saying not to prepare for any of those things. I'm saying prepare for the most likely to happen first, and then continue on, because you know what? It can't hurt to have nuclear and biological, suits, especially in a hurricane. Now I think about it. Yeah. So it's just one of those things. What are you preparing for? Why are you preparing for it? And how are you preparing for it? So, just a thought, guys. Jason the Phone Boy, thank you for watching, and I'm out.